Hey everyone, so this is Avery. It's week 9 on the Trans Collab channel. This week's topic is sex and sexuality. Originally when I was first due to start today's topic, I was like, oh yeah, awesome, like talking about sex, who doesn't like talking about that? And then I realised actually quite a lot of my friends watch this channel. So I'm going to warn you now, if you are my friend and we see each other a lot, and this is going to be awkward for the both of us, I urge you to skip this week's channel, this week's video, and watch next week instead. So so I guess I'll start with sexuality. I kind of come under the overall, I just kind of describe myself as a pansexual, polyamorous trans boy, and obviously because I do define myself as polyamorous, it in turn affects relationships I'm in and the type of sex I have. And even though being trans isn't a sexuality, it's not a gender either, I'm a boy, but being trans male also affects the kind of sex I have, because it kind of opens up a whole new kind of world to explore and signs to look out for and people to keep away and just kind of all that stuff. So I guess I kind of start at the beginning of sex. There are 2 instances that I don't count as being sexually active, when I basically gave a handjob to 2 different guys when I was in secondary school, and I kind of discount it because I was pressured into it. I didn't like it, so I just kind of forget that it happened. And I lost my virginity when I was 17 years old with my ex-partner, who I then stayed in a relationship with for a year. And I guess I was quite nervous about losing my virginity, but the person I lost it with, my ex-partner, was also female-bodied at the time, identifying as another trans man, and then I think it just kind of gave me the stability and the confidence to build up, to explore what I wanted, what I liked, what my partner liked, just learning different things, experimenting, that kind of thing, without feeling like your sexual partner is just going to skip out on you and you're just kind of going to be left. We went out for a year, then we broke up, and then I had sex with 3 other guys who are all born female as well. And I guess some people I do talk to do kind of find an issue, because to them they're like, well, if you like boys so much, why don't you have sex with a male-bodied person, I guess they mean, or a cis guy, or whatever. And I think it's hard for me because I'm so immersed in the trans community. The majority of the people I do spend time with, that I can build relationships up with, that I do find attractive, happen to be trans men. But I'd like to make it clear that I don't do it out of a choice. I don't specifically go after this person because they're trans. They just so happen to be trans as well. But if someone else did come along, for instance, at a youth group I go to, I'm currently I don't know the word, having a thing. It's not a sexual thing, but just a emotional thing with a girl. So it's just like that. It's just like if I had it with a cis guy, then, you know, that would be that. But yeah, personally, like, I have had a couple of comments, like, obviously, like, when you're 18, sex can be a big topic, especially, like, if you're younger as well. Like, people are interested in it, friends are like, oh my god, you two had sex, that kind of thing. And I've had a couple of comments on the way that I do have sex, because I've heard people say I fuck like a girl, which basically means that because I do get pleasure from the parts that I already have, and I'm okay to use them, that apparently this makes me less of a man, which I think is absolute bollocks. Because I'm pansexual, genitals don't, other people's genitals don't matter to me. I like them for the person that they are. And that kind of translates back to myself, that I don't like my body in a way that it's not the body I was supposed to have, but it's what I have, basically. So while I have it, I might as well put it to good use. So another thing that a lot of trans people kind of have to negotiate is no-go areas. Like, you might have this in hetero sexual relationships, but I think it tends to be more of a minefield in trans relationships, where there's a trans person, basically. Because obviously for me, like FTM, it's like, can I touch your chest? Can I not? Can I play with your dick? Do you want vaginal sex? Do you want anal sex? Do you like oral? Blah. And I guess it's just hard, for even if the other person is trans, because what they like doesn't necessarily translate back to you. But I find that you have to communicate, because a lot, obviously, like the whole being a trans boy thing, a lot of people are a bit iffy about vaginal sex, but I actually prefer it. I don't like anal. So where some people might just be like playing with you, if that's not what you want and you want something else, obviously when you're having sex may not be the best time to talk, but you can communicate in other ways, like making a noise or a gesture, or even, like, for me, I've done this on 2 occasions now, where I've just subtly kind of pushed someone's hand down into where I wanted it to be, and they kind of caught on from that and went, oh, okay, and then it kind of progressed from there. So I think if you're not enjoying it, you should not necessarily go, look, stop, you're doing it wrong, because it's kind of difficult for people to know what you want if you don't give out signs. So communicate is a big one, and if it's kind of complicated, I think a really good way to kind of let your sexual partner know is if you kind of slowly kind of stop what you're doing, and like either you lean into them or they lean into you, and just say it like into their ear, like really low, like a whisper, like it's kind of like a secret, and basically turn it into dirty talk, because dirty talk is almost always acceptable in the bedroom or the sofa or wherever you want to do it, and just say, oh, I'd really like you to do this, I want you to put me in this position, or lick me here, or touch me there. And you can see how it kind of works out, as opposed to having a conversation. But you know, you have to communicate with what you want, and also with what your partner's comfortable enough with. Yeah, I think that's kind of all I have to say on it. Yeah, pretty much. So hope this hasn't been too awkward for people to watch. And I hope if you are looking for some advice, that you've maybe found this advice a little bit helpful. But if you have any more questions, you know, there are 6 or 7 other people to ask as well. If you want to ask any of us any questions, go ahead. or you want advice or whatever, then please get in touch. And I'm going to wrap this up now because it's getting to 10 minutes. Yeah, so thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys next week.